If you're really looking to lose fat quickly, you don't need to make your diet complicated. Actually, the more simple you keep your diet, the faster you'll end up seeing results. So if you stay with me, at the end, I will put up a meal plan that you guys can screenshot to help put you on the right path. And if you want something more personalized, feel free to book a call with me below. So firstly, let's talk about why we gain fat in the first place. It's not because you're lazy. Most of it is because of bad habits. So bad eating habits, lack of exercise, poor sleeping habits, the list goes on and on. But here are some of the habits that I picked up through working with a lot of clients that I just wanted to kind of bring attention to, just in case you happen to be someone who is falling into these bad habits and you might not necessarily be conscious of it. So firstly would be irregular meals. Now, what do I mean by this exactly? You have a bad pattern of not being consistent with your meals. So sometimes you skip breakfast, sometimes you eat breakfast, sometimes you overeat at night to compensate for a breakfast you skip. Nothing is really consistent. In this journey, consistency is one of the most important things. We want to know essentially what we're putting into our body and how much of it to yield X result, meaning fat loss or muscle gain or whatever your desired goals and outcomes are. Irregular meal frequencies or regular meal size is something that really would play a role in your fitness journey. So it's very important to, if you're not going to weigh your food, at least try to keep them more or less consistent. And don't overeat and overindulge at night. If you're having cravings at night, it's most likely because you didn't feed your body enough throughout the day. The second would be all-day snacking. These little bite-sized snacks that you have throughout the entirety of a day do add up in calories. Now, most of us don't associate them as being high calorie because they're typically something that fits in the palm of your hand. And for some reason, psychologically, we've associated high-calorie foods with foods that are extremely voluminous in size, which is not the case. Take a Lindt chocolate, for example, the small little balls. You can probably eat 5, 6, 10 of them and not feel much in terms of being satiated hunger-wise. But just one of those is roughly between 90 to 120 calories, depending on the flavor. In terms of snacking, if you're having 2 or 3 of those a day, a handful of nuts or a handful of this, handful of that, those calories add up every day. And at the end of the week, they add up as well. And this could very well be the reason why you might not be losing the weight that you want on the scale or, in fact, gaining weight. Third point would be liquid calories. If you're someone who likes to drink Coca-Cola or 7-Up or fruit juice, opt for the 0 or lower calorie options. That way you can still enjoy your juice and you can bring those calories way down. Oftentimes we don't think of how high in calories these beverages might be, but they're pretty high. So a can of Coke, for example, the non-diet would probably be around 200 calories. And if you're having 2 or 3 of those a day, there goes your deficit and there goes your weight loss. Another point would be low protein, right? You have a low amount of protein in your diet. Now, protein is one of the most satiating foods you can have. So when you're constructing your plates, you always want to make sure that you have an abundance of protein followed by a big portion of vegetables and more controlling your carbohydrates and fats. So point I'm trying to make is a lot of people have low protein diets. Higher protein diet could help fix this issue. And lastly, not having a plan. When you have a plan, everything is laid out in great detail for you, and all you have to do is just follow it to get the results that you're looking for. With that being said, you always want to have some sort of plan, whether it's a plan to train in the gym or a nutrition plan to help you get to your goals, whether you're getting it from a coach or you're constructing it yourself through the use of AI or ChatGPT or whatever. You always want to have some sort of solid plan that you can follow to help keep you on the right track. And within the next 60 seconds, I'm going to give you guys the exact rules that could fix all of these problems. So listen, rule number 1, eat at least 3 times a day. Try to keep these meals as balanced as possible in terms of size so you're not overeating and you're not feeling hungry at some points throughout the day. Have yourself a breakfast, have yourself a lunch, have yourself a dinner, and then adjust the rest of the calories based on your needs accordingly. I'm not someone that believes in snacking. I believe in more whole meals. So if you need to squeeze another whole meal in there, find a way to do so long as it's aligned with your goals. Tip number 2, make sure the main component of your plates is going to be the protein, whether it's chicken, eggs, beef, salmon, fish, doesn't matter. Make sure that the star of your dish is always going to be the protein. Again, these are the most satiating. It will help you towards your goals. It'll help you retain or build your muscle mass, which is going to allow you to burn fat or build muscle a little bit easier, and it's going to keep you full for longer, followed by a bigger vegetable portion, and again adjusting your carbohydrates and your fats accordingly. Third would be to cut your carbs. Now, generally, when I put myself on a diet or when I put my clients on a diet, normally the first place to kind of take calories away is going to be from carbohydrates. Not that we necessarily need carbohydrates, but they're not going to be as essential as the proteins and the fats, right? Protein's going to help to maintain your muscle mass, and your fats are going to be more for hormonal production, so they're very important. So what you can do is start to chip away slowly at your carbohydrates, though keep them in when they are the most important. So if you're someone who's going to the gym, you want to keep them pre and post workout. So pre-workout to help fuel your workout, post-workout to help fuel recovery. So you want to be kind of strategic with where you strip these carbs away and where you decide to keep the carbohydrates. So a point that I did address in, point number 2 is vegetables. You can fill your plate up with as much vegetables as possible. Obviously, try to opt for the vegetables that are higher in fiber content, because the fiber will allow slower digestion of everything that you're consuming, so it'll keep you full longer. Load up on vegetables. If you don't like vegetables, learn to start liking them. They are a lifesaver when it comes to weight loss. I promise you that. The next point, drink a lot of water. Oftentimes we confuse hunger, or our body confuses hunger for thirst. So you want to stay between 2.5 to 3 liters a day on minimum to just help fuel your body properly, as our bodies are about 70% water. You'll even notice it can also help with your energy levels. Drink more water. I promise you it will help you on your weight loss journey. And lastly, you want to be active. So just going to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, 5 times a week, if even, may not necessarily be enough to help you lose the weight. You want to be active. So if you're someone like me who works from home, primarily sitting at a computer or standing in place recording videos, you might not necessarily get the activity that you need to help you accelerate your fat loss. A good tip would be to have a step count. Right? Set yourself a step count for the day and make sure you hit this every single day. Now, a good rule of thumb for majority of people would be to start around 10,000 steps a day, or do 30 to 45 minutes of a decently intense type of cardio 4 times a week. This would be my ideal recommendation. I would most likely opt for the steps. It's very easy. If you're someone that works from home, you can buy a walking pad, put it under your desk, get a standing desk, and just walk while you're doing your work, or go out and go for a little jog first thing in the morning. You'll feel great after, I promise you. So essentially, the whole idea behind weight gain comes down to when your body is storing more than what you're burning in the form of calories. So if you're consuming X amount of calories a day and you're not expending X amount of calories, your body is going to store the difference between what you're burning and what you consume, most likely in the form of fat. This is what we would call a calorie surplus. Now, the opposite to that would be a calorie deficit, when your body is burning off more than what you're consuming. Now, for those of you on a weight loss journey, this is where you want to be. You want to be in a calorie deficit, where your body is burning off more calories than what it is consuming, resulting in weight loss or fat loss. The first thing you want to do is track how many calories your body would need to be at maintenance. Now, you can do this a variety of ways. There are an abundance of calorie counting calculators online where you just punch in your stats and it'll spit out, your set of macros. And what I suggest is to use one of these calorie counters. Very simple, it's easy. And once you have the numbers that you need, then you can go and start following this. You can build a meal plan that is around these numbers, right? So it's going to give you an amount of protein you should eat a day, an amount of carbohydrates, and an amount of fats. Follow this for a week. Try to not deviate at all for at least 1 week. Then you're going to see, are you losing weight or are you gaining weight? If you're losing weight, how much? And then you would adjust these numbers accordingly. Right? If you're losing too much weight, then you might want to increase calories a little bit. Now, you have to keep in mind that a lot of these calculators are not considering every single factor possible, right? I had done the calculator. It told me to maintain my weight, I needed to eat around 2,600 calories. I'm currently eating around 3,800 calories just to maintain. So there are factors that it does not consider. So you need to take what it says with a grain of salt. You need to try it for a week and then make adjustments accordingly. Now, if you guys are having trouble with this, leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'd be more than happy to give you a helping hand to try and determine your calories for maintenance. And as I had promised, for you guys who are having difficulties coming up with a meal plan that could follow a potential structure, here it is. So you can take screenshots of these, you can do what you need to do. Now remember that these are just a skeleton. So it's just the backbone of what a meal plan would look like for you. These are not specific or tailored to you in any way, shape, or form. It's just going to be used as a guide. Now it will be up to you to see how you need to adjust these meal plans to help you fit and reach your goals. I'm also going to leave versions of this meal plan in the description below, so that way you guys can go and just download it and use this as a guide. And again, if you need further or more personal one-on-one help, you can apply to work with me below. I'd be more than happy to help give you the help that you need. So with that being said, I've provided you with a sample meal plan. I've provided you with the information and the tips that you need to help put you on the right track for your weight loss. So I want to give you guys a 7-day challenge. Now, for those of you watching this, if you want to be accountable, you can follow me on Instagram and you can send me screenshots or tag me in any of these things that you're doing daily so I can see your progress. And I want to go a layer even deeper. If you guys participate in this challenge and you manage to lose weight in those 7 days, I will enter you guys in a raffle to win 1 month of free coaching with myself. However, you need to be following me on Instagram at fit.coach.jesse. And I need to see some sort of proof that you guys are actually following this. I want to know that the information I'm providing you is being implemented and it's working for you. Again, if you guys need additional help, reach out. I'd be more than happy to help put you guys on the right track. Now, with that being said, the little 7-day challenge plus a free giveaway. So I want you to eat your 3 meals a day, right? You can take pictures, you can send them to me, do what you need to do to be accountable to eat at least your 3 main core meals a day, making sure you're getting the calories you need. Your meals obviously should be protein and vegetable heavy and carb and fat, very specific again to what your goals are. Those will be the adjustable metrics of your meal. You want to drink at least 2 to 3 liters of water a day. You want to make sure that you're getting adequate rest between 6 to 9 hours per night, and you want to walk 10,000 steps a day minimum. This is going to be the challenge I'm putting on to you. So very simple, very easy things to do, and you can implement your weight training into this as well. And those of you who are overachievers, going above and beyond will result in above and beyond results. Just following this for a few days, you'll already start to feel lighter, and I promise you will start to see the scale trend downwards. This is your body getting rid of some initial water. The fat burning, unfortunately, will come a little bit later, but this is a good first step. It means that you took control and you finally decided to do something, and the results are showing. And if you want to keep losing after those 7 days, here's exactly what you need to do. Most people stop losing at a certain point. You follow the meal plan, you follow the training plan, you follow the cardio plan, you did everything you're supposed to do, and you lost for about 2 weeks, and then you finally hit a standstill and the weight's just not budging. One thing you have to do is not panic, and you need to make this one small change. Start cutting your calories a little bit more, or increase the level of activity by increasing your step count or the amount of cardio that you're doing on a daily basis. That's it. It's really that simple. Or if you're someone who does have other bad habits that you start to cut back on, such as eating out, you can start to cut back on some of those. So here's some quick facts, questions that I've been asked throughout some of my clients' fitness journeys. And one of them is, can I eat out while in a deficit while trying to lose weight? And the answer is yes. I eat out all the time. I was eating out when I was on my contest prep, right up until the week before my bodybuilding show. I was eating out weekly. Now you just want to reduce the frequency at which you eat out. If you're someone that eats out 3-4 times a week, well, start to make it an occasion. Go out once a week. If you go out 3 times a week, go out twice. If you go out twice, go out once. Reduce the frequency. This will keep you in a deficit longer, and it's going to make you look forward to actually going out and having that cheat meal with your friends, family, partner, or so on. When you do go out, try to make healthier options unless you're granted and giving yourself that cheat meal. So for example, if I'm going out and it's not my cheat meal, I will try to pick something that will closely resemble what my meal plan does. So if I gave myself a piece of salmon with some vegetables for dinner, if I'm going out to a restaurant, I will try to find something that almost closely resembles that. That way your calories are going to be more or less in the same spot. Another question, will I be on 0 or low carbs forever? No, you're not going to be on 0 or low carbs forever. The whole goal is to essentially take off as much of the fat as possible, get your body to a point where your metabolism is working optimally, you feel good, you look great. And then we do a reverse diet where we start to implement the calories back in, keeping your body still in a good and lean state, but allowing you to kind of fill up your frame and feed you like a normal human again. Not that being in a deficit means you're not a normal human, but you get the point. So the whole goal is to trim off as much of the fat as possible, build up your metabolism, start reverse dieting you very slowly so you can incorporate the calories back in over a longer period of time, keeping your metabolism high and keeping your body still intact and still looking lean while we can start to build muscle. Am I allowed cheat meals? Yes, you can give yourself yourself a cheat meal. However, I would just still try to keep it to at least once a week and not overdo it. If you're overdoing the cheat meals, you will blow yourself out of your calorie deficit, and I can promise you that you will not see the progress that you want. So keep your cheat meals for a time that's appropriate. Usually once a week is a good ballpark number. And same thing with the alcohol. Keep alcohol to an absolute minimum, or save it for your cheat meal and allow yourself 1 glass. Now, I promise you, if you follow all these steps for 7 days, you will start to see changes. And if you guys want the printable copy of the meal plan, it will be in the description below. So I encourage you, download it, follow it, tailor it, adjust it to your needs, what are specific to you, the foods that you may like, but use this as a guideline and a structure to help get you on the right path so you can start losing weight immediately. And with that being said, thank you guys for joining me. If you found this video informative, please share it with a friend, give me a subscribe. And if you guys want to go a layer deeper and really own in on your physique goals, feel free to book a call to work with me one-on-one, and I'll see you guys in the next video.